E nā mana, e nā reo, rangatirama, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Ko whangaroa te mauna, ko taratara te maunga, ko Ngāpuhi Tiku Iwi, no Glenfield Ahau, ko Richard Hills tuku ingoa, he ka kaunihera o Tāmaki Makaurau. Kia ora everyone. I'm Richard Hills. I'm the chair of the Policy and Planning Committee for Auckland Council, also one of the two councillors for the North Shore Ward, and also chair of, with Councillor Julie Ferry, who's here somewhere. Oh, there she is. The chair and deputy chair of the National Policy Statement for Freshwater Working Group, which we do our best to try and move forward with our staff, despite lots of government changes in that space. And I was also chair of the Environment and Climate Change Committee last term, which had lots to do with you all. Ngā mihi nui to Te Kawerau Maki, and thank you for the welcome this morning, and acknowledge all the work you do for the Manukau Harbour. I want to acknowledge all mana whenua for whom the Manukau Harbour is revered tūpuna, a tonga, tuku iho. We acknowledge and honour, or I acknowledge, and honour your whakapapa and your tireless efforts to uphold the mauri of this harbour. Ngā mihi nui, kia koutou katoa. Just want to thank the Manukau Harbour Forum, want to thank John, Alan, all the members that are here with us and those who have come before. I know it's been a huge amount of work and advocacy and frustration, but lots of fantastic work bringing everything together. To everyone here today, I know that all our mana whenua members, but also the community, the rangatahi at heart, the rest of you, and all the work that is done, the volunteer hours, the huge amount of work done on your weekends, nights, the struggles that you must face when you see things move forward and then backwards again sometimes, but just want to acknowledge that the Manukau Harbour is improving because of all the work you are doing. Just want to acknowledge Johnny, huge part of our climate plan, Te Tārakia Tāwhiri, worked on last term. You know, that is a significant climate plan that has held the test of time this term, despite some challenges, Julie? But, you know, I want to thank you for your work. We did that in partnership with mana whenua, because that is the way that we should be doing everything that we do. To all the council staff here, and just, you know, hearing Matt, I was actually at the release, the Kōkapu release, and sometimes staff do kind of pluck me out of the frustrating nature of our meetings sometimes to go do things like that up in the Upper Huia catchment, which was just phenomenal, like seeing 1,000 kōkapu, you know, being released into those streams. It's just, yeah, stuff that you can't explain until you see it. But thank you for that and reminding me of the why we do this. So the Manukau Harbour is obviously a phenomenal living being. It's provided people of Tāmaki Makaurau for nearly 1,000 years. And the stories of abundance that have been passed down for generations, you know, leave us wanting that back. As we know, it's not the same today. Changes to the landscape around the harbour over the last 180 years, from the removal of the forest and the wetlands, the untreated discharge and the disrespect of the harbour have had a devastating impact on the life of the harbour. More recently, practices have improved and continue to be improved, but we acknowledge there's a long way to go to see the harbour that we can say is healthy with the mauri restored. Auckland Council has statutory responsibility to safeguard the health of the harbour under multiple pieces of legislation. The Council and its council-controlled organisations also make decisions about growth and development and transport and drinking water, stormwater, wastewater, that all have impacts on the harbour depending how they're delivered. We make those decisions on your behalf, and so we know we need to ensure that those decisions reflect what Aucklanders are seeking for the region and for this harbour. We know that Aucklanders want clean, healthy harbours. We hear it from them all the time. Safe to swim, and hopefully one day be able to collect food from every part of the harbour again. We acknowledge and respect the kōrero of iwi and hapu in relation to the harbour and the importance of protecting and restoring the harbour's health. In particular, I want to acknowledge the visionary leadership and the tireless advocacy of Dame Manukau Mahinik. I know that Johnny has spoken about her before. The work that she did and the leadership of her whānau and people around her at that time with the Manukau Harbour claim, it obviously remains unsettled, but it holds deep significance for all the iwi involved, but it's also changed the nature of what happens in the harbour. We know that a lot of that work influenced the Resource Management Act, with how we treat the environment. I cannot do justice to its full impact in this short speech, but I will acknowledge the Manukau claim has helped shape the environmental management of the harbour and actually all our harbours. As a result of decades of work that's gone into improving the way people live and work around the harbour, that is also changing today. There have been several plans for the harbour over decades from the successive organisations, including from the Auckland Water Board, Manukau City Council, Auckland Regional Council and many others. And the implementation of these plans has made tangible progress that can be measured in the state of the harbour, and Megan's going to give some of that information soon. But even so, in no small part due to the advocacy of several parties, and all of you have acknowledged the lack of Auckland Council action, or the feeling of lack of Auckland Council action over the years. Put a line in the sand in the last term of council, and we want to achieve better. We did agree to most of the recommendations through the Manukau Harbour report, or the review, sorry. And of course, with the achieving better environmental outcomes for the Manukau Harbour, it requires council and all of us to work together on that. Having a shared vision and consistent direction about what the healthy Manukau Harbour looks like, and what is, I only have a couple slides, so that is not the right button. There we go. Establishes a foundation for considering those impacts and identifying where change is needed. Our commitment to achieving the healthy Manukau Harbour was further reinforced last year as members of the Policy and Planning Committee voted unanimously in support of a commitment to achieve better environmental outcomes for the Manukau Harbour. This commitment outlines a vision and 5 environmental outcomes for the future health of the harbour. Auckland Council will work to progress towards this vision and outcomes through its work programs and its decisions over time. Lots of that work is already happening, of course, but we want a Manukau Harbour that is healthy and thriving, with restored mauri and abundant life. We want to play our part in ensuring the people that live around and visit the harbour are safe and look after the harbour while they enjoy it. My connection to the harbour is through every year when we were kids, we used to stay at the Whatapu Lodge with Dad's fishing club. And they used to fish off the beach, which I feel like is dangerous. But, the times we spent there every single Christmas was really important to me. And then when I was a youth worker, we used to bring young people to the Huia Lodge, the Kiwanis camp, every single year, a couple times. And we all used to swim down there in Huia. And we also stayed around the much further around corner Awhitu Peninsula as well, which, we brought young people from all over Tamaki Makaurau to these places who had no understanding or idea of how beautiful and stunning these parts of the harbour were. Achieving the vision will mean Auckland Council will be doing part to improve water quality. Oh, that's the wrong way. Water quality and biodiversity in the harbour, prepare for climate change and its impacts on natural systems, acknowledge and support mana whenua in their roles and responsibilities as kaitiaki of the harbour, and support Aucklanders to be more broadly connected with and care for the harbour. While we're putting refreshed effort and emphasis into work on a healthy Manukau Harbour, we acknowledge that there's a lot of work underway already by council teams, mana whenua, community organisations and everyone in this room. We also acknowledge there's a lot to do and stresses and challenges with trying to get everything done as quickly as possible. So in setting direction for all Auckland Council activities to take account of the health of the harbour, the Mayor and councillors are asking that more consideration is given to the harbour in our planning and consenting decisions and our investment decisions as well. This may get more challenging given central government legislation reforms, and it does feel like, in my opinion, we're going backwards in a lot of those areas, but we continue the advocacy, we continue to put the fight up to the government, and we need to keep them honest, just as you all need to keep us honest as well. The high-level direction that was adopted last year will be supported by a number of additional steps. These include identifying reachable objectives, And we've identified the following priorities as key for the council to work on, and I won't go through all of them, but they're of course including sediment issues, that's increasing the Closing the Gap program that many of you will know, addressing nutrient levels, restoring the terrestrial, coastal and marine ecosystems, ensuring that wading birds and seabirds that frequent our harbour are protected. We want to, and thanks Christine, I first met Christine 15 years ago and she literally has not changed at all, how we address the threat of toxoplasmosis to the critically endangered Maui dolphin, investigating more options to address marine litter. There's a long list of other important things, but of course the intensification and growth the government is requiring of us also puts some struggles in that space. You'll start to see assessment of these issues and options for addressing them being progressively completed by council staff, and we'll have further to prioritise and consider the resources through the next annual budget and the next long-term plan, and we obviously ask you to keep up that advocacy to all elected members as well. Obviously, the most important thing is to make sure we're doing this in partnership with mana whenua, hear their views and aspiration for the harbour, and acknowledge, we need to continue up those relationships and continue to work in the way they want to with the harbour. We're working on several proposals. Georgie will talk about some of them, I think, to bring mana whenua council elected members together, so strategic direction can be routinely evaluated to support mana whenua entities with their work to monitor and protect and restore the harbour. And we know there's frustration with the speed of that, but we feel like it's the right thing to do to make sure everyone is on the same page, or if they're not on the same page, we can work with everyone in different ways, even if it's not together, to make sure we're restoring the harbour. I won't go, I've now gone over time myself, but I think we are working better than I feel like we were 6 years ago. We are hearing from the Manukau Harbour Forum members, we are hearing from the community more. We know our Auckland Council staff, despite all the pressure they get from media community, just like us, they are working really hard in the space and think this work is extremely important. There is no one working on the Manukau Harbour within council that does not think we're doing enough, but they're also doing a lot of work. So I want to wrap up with an acknowledgement to each and every one of you. I just want to thank you for the work to advocate for the health of the harbour, to actively restore the whenua and awa that run into the harbour, and to clean up the rubbish that builds up around its shores. Thank you for caring for and rehabilitating the environment so our birds and marine life can flourish. And thank you for helping us understand the life of the harbour and how it's impacted by the people around it and the decisions that councils now and long into the past have made, and how we can continue to try our best to change those decisions to really reflect the importance of this extremely important harbour to all of us. So kia ora and thank you, and I think as a collective group we may have time for answer questions at the end, and I'm happy to chat after this as well. So kia ora, thank you very much.